Man, the black and white rear eye is taking so long to make. What should I make while I'm trying to make that? Oh, I know. Hi everyone. Today I'm gonna make something a bit different. I'm gonna be looking at an iceberg. A Pokemon iceberg. Yeah, a little late for this, but I like seeing iceberg videos, so I just found this iceberg on Reddit. But let's get started. Also, this iceberg is only for Pokemon anime fans because it's a Pokemon anime iceberg. You saw the title. You definitely saw the title. Kiss with Serena. This is referencing the final episode of Pokemon X and Y, where, well, Serena kissed Ash. That's really it. Electric Soldier Porygon. This was an episode of Season 1, which got banned due to, well, seizures. Yeah, it's pretty infamous. I'm not going to show footage because I don't want to give anybody else a seizure. Aim for the horn. This is referencing a moment from the episode Riddle Me This, where Ash's Pikachu is facing a Rhydon, which, well, Ash told Pikachu to use Thunderbolt on its horn, which people say he's saying aim for the horn. But actually in the episode he says just Pikachu the horn. 4Kids albums. Is it because 4Kids made the music? Or was it because there are 4Kids albums? I don't know. Pikachu's ketchup obsession. In the episode Showdown at Dark City, Pikachu was eating from a ketchup bottle, which people saw as Pikachu having a obsession with ketchup, which, well, became a real obsession when they did a lot of stuff with it. Rice balls. My guess why this is on here? Well, because they keep changing the name of rice balls in the dub. Sometimes it's rice balls, jelly-filled donuts, or heck even popcorn balls. Pikachu's Jukebox. This is something made for the second half of Season 1 and for Season 2 of Pokemon. This little thing gave us a lot of iconic songs for Pokemon, replacing the Poke Rap from the first half of Season 1 and getting replaced by Karaokemon in this third season. The Misty Lure. The Misty Lure was something Misty had in early seasons, and she gave to Ash. They made a lot of jokes about the lure, even showing a bit of shade of it and aimed to be a Pokemon master. Beauty and the Beach. This was the 18th episode of the original series. It was infamous for being the very first banned Pokemon episode, well, in the US. This image shows why it was banned because, well, James had some big booba. Sammy is Professor Oak. Sammy is a character from the Pokemon movie Pokemon Forever. People theorize that he is Professor Oak, even though the evidence shows that he is Professor Oak. Swallow and Pikachu's Thunder Armor. This is a technique that Pikachu used where it uses thunder in the sky, which comes down and hits Pikachu and Swallow, which creates a electrical thunder armor around them. People saying this is one of Ash's biggest, well, Ash pulls. But it do look cool. Kiss with Latios. This was a moment from the Pokemon movie Pokemon Heroes, where Latios, disguised as a girl named Bianca, kisses Ash on the cheek. Some people say that it just might be Bianca, but by the lack of hat and, well, not speaking, it's kind of obvious it's Latios. Trainer Choice Viper error. This was a moment from a Pokemon Trainer's Choice, where it asks what Pokemon evolves into Viper, and says it's Arbok that evolves into Viper. But actually, Arbok does not evolve into Viper. Pokemon Karaokemon. This is basically a successor to Pikachu's Jukebox, with, well, less known Pokemon songs. But we did get 2 perfect girls, so that's cool. Drying Pan. This moment was from a special called Mewtwo Returns, where it starts raining with our group still in the rain, where Brock gets the idea to use his frying pan as a drying pan, which is basically a meme now, because it's so absurd. The Legend of Dratini. This is another banned episode, but this was the very first time where a Pokemon episode never got dubbed into English. That's because of its overwhelming use of guns. And this was before Yu-Gi-Oh, so yeah, no finger guns are allowed. But I would still recommend watching this episode if you can, because it's funny. Also, people say that it was also funny because Meowth kind of looked like Hitler. But he just kind of looks like he wants pictures of Spider-Man. Voice actor change. The voice actor change basically happened because Forkus lost the rights to Pokemon anime. The new voice actors were in Mastermind and Mirage Pokemon, which was their very first debut, Michelle Knotts as Misty and May, Bill Rogers as Brock, James Caffcard as Professor Oak, and Casey Rogers as Ash and Max. But Ash's voice actors got changed after the first of a Pokemon Mastermind and Mirage Pokemon from Casey Rogers to Sarah Neto Jenny. Also, Chasey was voiced by Michelle Knotts, and James and Meowth were voiced by James Caffcard. James' voice changed mid-episode. In the episode The Path to the Pokemon League, James actually had his voice changed mid-episode from Ted Lewis to Eric Stewart. Pokemon Chronicles. These were episodes made after Johto to see what is going on with, well, other people, Ash is in Hoenn. And we got introduced to Jimmy and Marina here, with Marina getting a lot of appearances in the regular show. Peekaboo. Peekaboo is what people thought Meryl was, but what I think it's referring to? I think it's referring to this card where it calls Meryl Peekaboo and Snubble Buru. Jinx Censorship. This is referring to where the Pokemon Jinx, due to it kind of looking like blackface, having Pokemon episodes get banned or just try to remove the black Jinx. But Jinx got his color changed in the anime, which started having episodes where it's in, not be banned, due to it having purple skin. The GS Ball. The GS Ball is a Pokeball that can't be opened, but there was actually going to be a thing in Johto where it was going to be opened, revealing Celebi. But due to Pokemon Forever coming out, they decided to give the Pokeball to Kurt, creating a lot of missed potential in a very filler-heavy series. Game Boy Advance Video. GBA Video is basically the same where you can watch, TV on your GBA. Pokemon being one of those TV shows, but it's big crushed and, the audio is very pixely. 4Kids Airbrush Edits. By my guess, I think it's going by all the censorship Pokemon had to deal with, and they had to really use an airbrush just to get all the things out of the way from the Japanese version and make it more Englishified, or I guess Americanized. The mother/daughter in the movies. It's probably referring to this mother and daughter that kept on appearing in the movies for a little bit before, not appearing again because Pokemon movies are pretty sparse. Pokemon Heroes Blue Tint. In Pokemon Heroes, there was this, weird blue tint to stuff. Sometimes it's not that noticeable, and sometimes it's completely obvious. Pokemon Live. There was this live Pokemon show in, the 90s to early 2000s. It had a lot of weird stuff in it. A little too weird, I could say. Mewtwo Strikes Back, Kanzenban. Apparently this was just the original movie with the tacked on 10 minutes of the birth of Mewtwo radio drama and some extra CGI. I got this information from Dogasu's backpack. Pikachu's Winter Vacation. These were 2 Christmas specials. The first one being made during Lake Kanto, and the second one being made from early Johto. Lieutenant Surge swears in episode 14. Apparently Lieutenant Surge cursed in the original Japanese version of, Electric Shock Showdown, with the dub changing it to him saying, okay. Alternate continuity, Ash is a girl. By my guess, I think it's referring to this art where Ash looks like a woman, where somebody actually animated it, which did create some cute artwork, but also some weird artwork. But Ash is still a boy in the alternate continuity. The Birth of Mewtwo. Like I said earlier, this is a radio drama. We even got to learn about Jesse's mom, who died finding Mew. Brock is a stereotype. This is why Brock wasn't in the Orange Islands that much. Because, well, they thought he was a stereotype to people. But then, they realized that no one really cared, so they brought him back for Johto. Brock's mom plot hole. Brock's mom was said to be dead in episode 5 of the original series in the English dub. But in Chronicles, they actually showed her, creating a big plot hole. And this was even during the 4Kids era, so yeah. Leo Burnett and 4Kids are the devil. In earlier versions of the episode The Whistle Stop, James says, but backwards, he says, Leo Burnett and 4Kids are the devil, Leo Burnett. But in later versions, he just screams. Lenora's censorship. In the Japanese versions of the episodes Lenora appears in, she wore an egg brand, but it got changed in the English version because it resembled the mammy archetype. Oak and Delia are a couple. No, they aren't. They just hang out a lot. No, not that type of hangout. Team Rocket versus Team Plasma. This was a very important two-parter in the Black and White series, until it got removed due to natural disasters. Which, yeah, I can get. But due to these episodes getting skipped, the whole Black and White series had to be rewritten due to, well, the change in plot without Team Plasma. For the girls. This was TPCI's version of Takashi's Paradise, aka Brock's theme. Why is this so low again? The Ash Coma Theory. This is a theory where people say that Ash's adventure is just a coma. Which I'd say nonsense too. Because, well, you can say everything in a cartoon is just a coma. Pikachu's goodbye exists because of the Porygon incident. This is just a theory. I don't think that this episode was made because of the Porygon incident. Pokemon 3D and 4D. These are basically just our Pikachu's adventures. Next! Misty/Jessie's mallet. Misty and Jessie have used a mallet a few times. And not just a few times, pretty frequently. Pokemon Learning League. These are Pokemon episodes made for people to learn stuff. With some characters having to get slight redesigns, like Dawn for example. She had to get a real redesign because, well, you wouldn't want to show an outfit like this to learn. These were made from late AG to early DP. Brock and Misty's last names. Brock's last name is Harrison, and Misty's is probably Waterflower. That's what a few people say. Pokemon de English. This was a way to teach Japanese kids how to speak English, being one of the very few times the Japanese people actually referenced the dub. Misty slaps Ash. Misty has slapped Ash twice. One in the first episode, Pokemon I Choose You, and the second time in Ash Catches a Pokemon, but only in the Japanese sub. In the dub, it's removed, but you can still hear the slap sound in the Ash Catches a Pokemon version. Boys needed a new piece of eye candy. On an interview with Masamitsu Hidaka on Poke Beach, he says that, well, he jokingly said that they need a new piece of eye candy for the anime. That's why they replaced Misty with May. Barboach vs. Whiscash. This was another banned Pokemon episode. Banned because of, well, earthquakes. Then this episode actually would be the last time that Earthquake would have been used. But it also gives an issue where this episode was supposed to be the episode where Ash would learn the Sootopolis Gym's location. Pokemon Radio Show. This is probably referring to the Team Rocket radio show that they did pre-XY. PokeRap GS was meant to be paired with Jolie's Champions. The Spell of the Unknown DVD release said that the PokeRap GS was going to be in the 4 seasons, but that didn't happen. Probably because it wasn't even needed. NA Shorts. Just more Pikachu Venture stuff. Team Rocket drama CDs. This was another radio drama with Team Rocket, but this time, more like a Pokemon episode-like deal. Even getting introduced to a one-time character, Mondo. Animals in the Pokemon world. In early Pokemon episodes and in some early artwork, they actually were really leaning in on actual animals in the Pokemon universe. Pre-Porygon versions of episodes 1 through episode 37. In the original versions of those episodes, the lights were more flashy in those versions, but they did dim down due to, well, the Pokemon shock. Giovanni as Ash's father. Another theory I don't believe. It just doesn't make sense that Giovanni would be Ash's father. Where would Ash get his black hair from? The T-Rex version of the third movie. The original plot of the third movie was Professor Oak found a skeleton of a dinosaur or T-Rex, and it made it go back alive, but the people of Pokemon World had to stop it. But it was changed due to, well, that a bunch of bones wouldn't be a hit, as they say. Hiroki. Is it referring to this guy? It's because he's based off an actual actor that he's voiced by. I don't heckin' know. UK Poke Rap. Yes, there is a UK Poke Rap. And really it only changes the person who says the Pokemon's names. Pokemon newspaper strip. It's probably talking about the newspaper strips made in Pokemon's early US run. Pikachu and Pichu is banned in Japan. This is another Pikachu Adventures type of plot, but this one actually got banned in Japan. Why? Because the narrator of this got arrested for drug usage and drug abuse. Cursing Pokemon. I have no clue what this means. Zelby movie Toku Betsuhan. This was basically a Japanese version of the 4Kids version, where there was added scenes of the movie. The original first movie teaser / adult Misty. This was a teaser made for the first movie, where we got to see an adult Misty in this one, which didn't get in because it didn't really make sense to the plot. Gotta Catch 'Em All Backwards is I Love You, Satan. No, it's not. I literally heard the song backwards, and I never heard I Love You, Satan during the Gotta Catch 'Em All part. Professor Ivy is a lesbian. This is another theory where, well, Professor Ivy is a lesbian. Finally, a theory I can get behind. People say that this is the reason why Barack left Professor Ivy's place, because she admitted she's a lesbian. The first movie's original ending. This is probably referring to how the first movie was originally going to be the end of the Pokemon anime. Which, yeah, that would be kind of sad if it ended that early, but they didn't think there would be much sales, but Pokemon was loved enough to get like a second and third, and a bunch more seasons. The Misty X Mewtwo fanfic. I have no clue, so I'm gonna skip this one. Takashi's Paradise was removed after 6 episodes because parents complained. This theory is actually false. The real reason why it only aired for 6 episodes is because it was a limited time ending. Which, I'm glad I didn't have any controversy because this song is a flared up BOP! Porygon did nothing wrong. This was a magnificent Pokemon tweet that they made, but it got deleted, probably because it's referencing a controversy due to the seizure stuff. Even though Porygon definitely did nothing wrong. Pokemon Rise Up / Shudo's intended ending. This was indeed supposed to be like a finale to the Pokemon series where a lot of Pokemon revolt against their trainers, with Pikachu basically being like a leader of the group. Toshihiro Ono's Rocket Hentai. I'm not talking about this. If it revolves around hentai, I am not touching it. This is a PG-13 channel, not an 18+ channel. But if you like, I could make like a separate unlisted video where I talk about it. Takeshi Shudo's novelization. This was a novelization of the Pokemon anime made by Takeshi Shudo, which talked about the early episodes and talked a lot about more serious stuff in the Pokemon anime world. And that was the Iceberg. This image was made by Power Stars on Bulba Garden, and a lot of people helped him with it, which Well, I have to thank everyone that made this for, well, making it. But I think I should get started on the black and white rewrite. Toodaloo!